Hello, everybody. Kaiju Cowboys here again.
Hello.
Yeah. So, today, well, yesterday we had a funny idea on Chameleon versus Chameleon. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, there are the Chameleons from Skull Island, and there is Chameleon from the Zilla Show. And I
Yep.
strongly believe that Skull Island won't win, and FDA, you.
I agree on the other chameleon from the Zilla show
He thinks
that I
Zilla
think
wins.
he would beat the chameleon from Skull Island.
Mm. So we have this. Now I'm now realizing we didn't even need this first doc. Whatever. So so we both made our own slides, gathering info. And so, do you want to go first, or I go first, or?
You can go first. I don't mind.
All right. Well, I heard. Let's start with the weight. Even though it's like, okay, let's start with the height. So, Kong in this anime, I think he said like to be like 200 feet, and this chameleon is around half the length, and that's just when he's kind of like in this stance as you see here. It's not like his tail all the way out or him stretching all the way out. So since he's around half the size, he's by my guess 100 feet long, probably like 20 meters tall when he's standing on his feet. And since Kong is around, I think, like 60,000 tons in GVK, if he's like 100 feet shorter or something, I don't know. But I said 20,000. There's a rough guess on his weight. So I also just added some stuff for like physical elements. He's able to bite into Kong with ease, just like the skull crawlers. His whole body is covered in like bumps and sharp bits and claws, so it's kind of hard to grab onto him without possibly damaging yourself. Prehensile tail, and thanks to his quadrupedal build, he's very fast on land, being able to outpace Kong. He can run at about 90 miles an hour. Kong is not light speed for any of you power scalers watching. Going frame by frame at one point when I can try and pull it up and show it.
Hmm.
But at one point, if you go frame by frame, the chameleon falls out of the sky. Hold on.
Yeah, he falls off that cliff when
I
he's
found it. I
sneaking
found it.
up
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
girl.
Is this it? This is. Let me pull it up onto the screen. And so let me screen share so you can see.
All right.
So if we move on right here, so we're gonna go frame by frame, everybody. We go flying very, very high up into the sky. Or at least like 2,000, 3,000 feet up at this point. The chameleon falls off, so going frame by frame, he falls quite a bit down, and this is while the eagle is still going up. So at that range, and then it cuts to the eagle still flying upward, so he's dropping at least 1,000 feet between him falling and the eagle still flying upward. Still
He's still
flying upward.
falling too. Yeah.
Yeah, still falling, almost all the way back down to the cavern. And I mean, at this shot, he's back up really high up again. It's kind of like that Polar Express scene when they're really close, whatever. But he spits his tongue all the way up and grabs her. So, going frame by frame, realistically, his tongue isn't really that long. But going frame by frame, you know, counting pixels style, all you scalers out there. His tongue can go upwards of 1,000 feet. Not only that, but it was able to grab the girl out of the hawk's grasp and pull all the way down. Also, didn't point this up. The tongue is very spiky and can probably, I don't know, shoot some sort of venom, given how these guys look. Some other general info. Real chameleons have 360-degree vision. Reasonable to assume that this guy would as well. He's able to climb up vertically and, like, upside down. And unlike FDA's chameleon here. This guy, he's on Skull Island, so he has to be able to fight, skull crawlers, siren jaw, vine stranglers, spirit tigers, So these guys are well equipped when it comes to multiple different kinds of, attacking and battles. They're able to change, of course, that's why they're called chameleon. They're able to change their skin. Now, they can't go literally invisible almost like this guy can,
Yeah.
but they can get pretty seamless. They can hide pretty well. And then I have all their durability stuff. I mean, like, the main big one everybody remembers are, Kong slamming one. So we don't see him slam it 40 times, but he slams one of the chameleons into the cavern wall 5 times in about 3 seconds. So while the other one was falling, he probably got smacked non-stop. And then, of course, the other one fell from thousands and thousands of feet up in the air onto the ground. And not only that, but he got completely penetrated by a bone through his chest. It didn't really seem to care or even really notice. If I were to guess, these guys are probably herbivores, just like the skull crawler, so they don't care if they're getting hurt. They will keep going. And I mean, these guys never really even showed any like big sign of pain. They're just kind of like, they seem to have like a really high pain tolerance and resistance. Because I mean, they were like at best having like their skin ripped. They never were, like bleeding all over the place and stuff. And that's about everything I have for this guy. Very durable, and could, do a lot of stuff. So you want to explain your guy, and then once you explain yours, we'll
Alrighty.
just explain how
So
these guys can counter each other.
on to my kaiju here. We have Chameleon from the Godzilla series from 1998 to 2000. I grew up with this show, loved this show as a kid. So let's start off with some of the durability here. So it is stated to have very high resistance to regarding Zilla Jr.'s fire breath. Now, according to Gojipedia, a very
Well,
trusted
I
source.
gotta interrupt you. Any Heisei fans, please do not send us death threats. These are just fun videos.
Just bear with me
We did
here.
not write this down.
It may sound very, very unbelievable, but this is from a trusted source, Gojipedia. By all means, you can go look it up
Don't be angry at them,
for
though.
yourself. And so, Zilla Jr.'s heat breath is 9 times the strength of Heisei Godzilla's File Ray, aka being 11,157,726.85 degrees Celsius converted from Kelvin. Taking this information, we can infer that he is very durable considering he is able to withstand a blast this powerful. So 1 Celsius heat joule is roughly almost 2,000 joules, around the 1900 joules. And so if you take the degree of the heat ray and convert it to joules, we get a roughly amount of 21,188,523,288.1 joules of energy exerted onto Chameleon every time he is taking a blast from Zilla's fire breath.
1.1
And
billion.
considering he's very, very resistant to that, that is quite the feat of durability there. So moving on here. So regarding his stats here, so Chameleon here is 146 meters long and 55 meters tall. That granted, he is in a hunched position. He is well, since he is a clone of Zilla. Zilla weighs roughly 60,000 tons, so I would assume that
I think
Chameleon
this
would
guy
weigh
probably weighs more, given
roughly the
his
same, if not more.
yeah,
So
because of his
minimum
head. His new
60,000
head
tons.
design has
Yeah.
a whole bunch more stuff contained.
And assuming Chameleon and Zilla Jr. are almost directly the same, Chameleon can be estimated to run up to 300 miles per hour, which is basically the same as Zilla Jr. Now, once again, comparing Zilla Jr. and Chameleon, it's almost a given that Chameleon would be a very good, well, how do I say this? Burrower, I'd say.
Burrowing,
Yeah, he'd
yeah.
be very good at burrowing. And let's move on to one of his one of his greatest abilities here. We're gonna have complete invisibility. Now, there is one clip from the show where he's able to stand right in front of Zilla Jr. When he's completely invisible, and Zilla Jr. doesn't even notice. So like he can't like smell him, can't see him. It may even seem that potentially his scent might be even covered by the invisibility, but that's just a theory. So. So complete invisibility, which is will become very, very handy. Even with that 360 vision from the other Chameleon, he could probably, before going into combat, probably go invisible and potentially sneak up on him. Next up here, we're gonna Chameleon is covered in a lot of bony spikes alongside his dorsal plate. So as you can see on like the arms and the legs, he has a bit of bony protrusions as well as on the arms. And then, of course, for his weird design on the head, he appears to have movable appendages on his mouth. I don't really see a huge purpose for them, but obviously they
Yeah.
could serve to be a potential another limb, you being able to be used to grab and clamp down. And of course, he's going to have that prehensile tail to
Just like
act as
Zilla.
another limb. So, taking this all into account, I'd personally, well, obviously, I'd have to say that, I mean, Chameleon definitely from Skull Island is definitely not a weak kaiju by far, but the abilities on the Chameleon from the Godzilla series are just, in my opinion, would just overwhelm, just be too much for just one single Chameleon on Skull Island to take down.
Also, before I put up my arguments against yours, and then you can do mine as well. By the time you will see this, I mean, you of course vote in the comment section, but we will also have a poll up, hopefully, if I remember, so you guys can go vote there. So, a few arguments I have for yours. Firstly, the fire feed. That is incredible that he's able to take that many joules, but like I said, he is designed to be able to fight Zilla, and therefore, when he was designed, he's most likely people were like, all right, how can we make sure Zilla can't damage him with his fire, you know? They don't think like, oh, Zilla isn't going to try and like rip him apart. You know, he isn't going to try and bite into his neck or anything. So while he can take severe damage, it's like he's designed for one thing. It's what would be I can't really think of a good example, but pretty much I'm not saying he wouldn't be good at combat, but I'm just saying his defense, at least his durability, was designed specifically to be going against him. I don't really think they were taking into account like being able to have a tongue shoot at him from 1,000 meters away. Secondly, Zilla seemed to like kind of know he was there, but
Did he die? Godzilla guys die?
Huh?
I think he's dead.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. He just like lagged
really
really hard for me. Sorry.
Lovely.
Okay. I did not hear what you said the past 10 seconds.
Well, I just think while yes, he has him being able to take that like durability, being able to take the fire. I don't think they really designed him to be able to, they designed him to be able to take that, not, a tongue shooting at him from 1,000 feet away that might be poisonous or anything. And it's just like general durability. I think my Chameleon takes that. I don't think this guy could, fall from that high in the sky and be like, oh, it's nothing. Also, yeah, he can go invisible, but we're just saying like we're putting him in an arena, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless of my Chameleon, first he would even like be able to like 360 vision. So. Your guy's big and heavy, so he's gonna be displacing a lot of stuff. So if there's like sand on the ground, right? Every time he steps, he's gonna see like a footprint, or if it's like a grassy area, he's gonna notice the displacement of like the ground around him. And also your guy is very heavy, and so he'll have stomps. Even if he sneaks, there'll still be some slight,
Again, although he is very heavy at 60,000 tons, being able to run up to 300 miles per hour while invisible, yes, he will have some indication, like as you said, with the stomps and the potentially kicking up some dirt or moving some grass. Moving at 300 miles per hour while completely invisible, still going to be a hard target.
Yeah.
Now, I'd also like to go back to the tongue you mentioned. So in the clip of the Chameleon reaching out its tongue and grabbing onto the girl, if the tongue, I wouldn't say it is poisonous.
Ooh. Okay, I got a new one right now.
Does damage.
I think it might be really sticky. That's probably how he got the girl out of the grasp. And if it is really sticky and he's able to pull, even if it's not much. Okay, I'm not saying he could pull Zilla towards him, but if he got his tongue attached to your Chameleon, he could fling himself. He could fling himself right towards your Chameleon and then bite onto him and just start gnawing on him. Also, the digging thing, I beg to differ. Zilla can dig because he can reach his arms like in front of his head, right? But your guys' head is much larger and further out. I don't think his arms are long enough to reach out and dig in front of him. So I think digging, he could, but it'd be very difficult and probably kind of painful.
No, well, his head can close all the way up, as we see.
But you can, as you can see, it's still like shooting very far out, though. Like if you look at the image, the one on the furthest right? Just his head alone is like where.
Comparison of Zilla and Chameleon. Because I don't see that being a big problem for Chameleon being able to dig.
Pull it up.
Let me get an image of Zilla Jr.
Zilla Jr. Yep. Zilla Jr. Looking at him. He still has a long neck, yeah, but that's exactly
his
what
neck.
Chameleon
his
has.
head is not small. His head is definitely not as large as Chameleon's, but it's not a good sizable. It's not too much bigger. So I don't see. I definitely see Chameleon.
Well, it's just that he'd be having to use his like head too to like try and like nudge dirt out of the way, so it would make him go a lot slower. So digging wouldn't really be viable when it comes to this.
I feel like if the Chameleon does try to stick its tongue out, I feel like he could dig into the ground and potentially pull him underground. But so with the obviously we both have a prehensile tail. We're going back to the durability thing. So yes, the Chameleon is specifically designed to be very resistant to the fire breath, but it's not just the heat; it's the amount of energy output from the beam. And considering, that 21 billion joules of energy, how many do we have a estimate for Kong's? Kong in the anime's joules of energy, energy output when he was slamming the Chameleon into the walls.
No, because we don't know how hard he was hitting them.
Yeah, so
I don't see. Like I said, your guy can take a lot of.
21 billion joules of energy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You really think he'd be like A-okay if he was getting thrown around at a wall or falling thousands of feet from the air? I mean, how'd he
Well,
die?
that's
Hold on.
why
How'd your guy die? My
the
guys
chemical
died
weapon,
from like, just eventually not being able to resist the stuff anymore. Your guys died from
a chemical weapon exploded.
chemical weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we pull up the fight between Zilla and Chameleon?
I'm
Oh,
trying. Yeah, yeah.
Zilla versus Chameleon. I'll send you the link if I can find it.
All right, I
I
got it.
have the screen time for it.
I got it. I found it.
I'll watch your screen share. No, there's Zilla.
Yep.
And look at that. Not even being able to be detected by an Apache helicopter would definitely have some thermal readings. And also completely immune to conventional weapons. I mean, that's a given.
I feel like you're not really a good kaiju if you can't find him with macros. That mouth in his chest is so weird.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize he has a chest mouth right there.
Yeah, he wouldn't really be able to bite him.
Look at that. It just completely comes right behind him. And so, I don't know. With the stop, you said how it would stop. Do you think they would hear him?
Yeah.
Right. But apparently they
I
didn't.
mean, that's just letting his foot down right there, and it, had a loud boom.
No, being able to like move behind him as he was invisible right there. So now he appears against Zilla here.
Plus, I get all the premium channels. No doubt you've met
Too
one
much
Chameleon.
happening.
Of course, my remote control.
He did grab his tail, and as we
Little
see with the
pulls
tail, he
around.
just launched Zilla. Yep.
My monsters
Look at that.
can also
Absolutely
protect some of
nothing.
your monsters.
Well, then again, like I said, he's designed to be able to take that.
Yeah.
With your
Oh, you
voice
get so many hate comments.
Just appears right behind him.
my voice should come
Look
off
at
as
that.
quite the hero for destroying
And look, when he went invisible, he wasn't like making any splashes in the water either.
Probably, I don't know, went down, maybe.
I mean, they are standing at like ankle height, so.
I mean, then again, the show is cutting a lot. This isn't like the exact show it's cutting. Cut of it. Probably
Yeah,
get
you can see
copyrighted.
how the water is splashing. They've been able to swipe at Zilla. Pretty agile as well.
Just near
And that's the chemical weapon that this
here.
person. So yeah, so when,
Now
from
we
what
never really
saw at the
see, besides the
video-
beam, we never really see like what he takes severe damage from, which is the problem. We don't really know like
so
how
we
durable
know
he is to
he's
something that's
completely
not
immune to
the beam.
conventional weapons.
Mm-hmm.
The beam has no knockback, or like it doesn't push him back. It doesn't damage him in any sort of way. When Zilla grabbed onto his tail, he was able to yeet him with ease.
Mhm.
So that's pushing around 60,000 tons with his tail. So.
But here's another thing. The guy kind of like outperforms my Chameleon quite a few things. It's just he just doesn't have the combat IQ.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, my
problem
guy
with
has fought,
Chameleon is
against, the Chameleons stay alive on Skull Island and they don't go extinct because, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, the problem is we just
there
don't
are
see
some
enough of
Titans,
the
I
Godzilla
think, a
series
group of
Chameleon.
Chameleons you take out, I mean, you saw like two were almost, taking out Kong. So
Then again, that was a kind of a teenage. No, not teenage,
Yeah.
but just
but I'm
barely
just
adult.
saying, in general, my Chameleons are able to take my Chameleons. Sounds weird.
Yeah, like in mind, it's a single chameleon.
Yeah,
So.
but yeah, my Chameleon is able to, they're when it comes to battle IQ, they're much more reliable. Like they know what they're doing. They know how to fight things. Your guy
I mean,
only ever
I'm
fights
not
one guy and
saying
dies.
my guy is dumb.
Oh no,
I mean,
I'm not
he
saying the
doesn't
guy's
even
not.
die to the guy. He dies to the chemical weapons. I mean, he seemed to know like combat from. Well, obviously he.
I mean,
is,
everybody's kind of
fight
can take
Godzilla,
conventional
yeah.
weapons.
But anyways, I think we've both made our points across. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching our video today on
Yep.
Kaiju Cowboys. Let us know your opinions down in the comments below. Who do you guys think will win, the anime Chameleon or the
there
Godzilla
will be a poll up, so make sure to vote on that because someone's just gonna put Chameleons, like which one. So make sure to vote on the poll that we'll actually have up on the channel. We hope you guys enjoyed the second video.
Peace out, guys.
Chameleon,
Yeah.
yeah, keep collecting everybody.
Chameleon, yeah, woohoo.
Kaiju Cowboys out. See ya.
Out.